And listen to WTIM Ag podcasts anytime.
This is Shawless Nagel, Executive Director at Kimmer Village in Assumption. To learn more about our services, click on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM. Good morning, Central Illinois, and welcome to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, landmark of Taylorville, and in the case of this particular interview, also by Taylorville Schools, where they promote student success because they're A+. And I make that last point because this is 8:40. We're a little past 8:40 on this particular morning on the first Thursday of the month, and that means it's time for the Taylorville Schools Good News segment. And there is quite some news over at Taylorville Schools with some movement on the Fine Arts Center and plenty more. And here to talk about that and much more is the Taylorville Schools Board President, Ann Chandler. Ann, thanks for coming on this morning.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you in because there is a lot going on, and you'll have the chance to explain some of it to our listeners at home. So first off, it sounds like so there's been a lot of news about the Fine Arts Center. There's been word about some movement going on at North Elementary School with some projects. I'd love for if you could first just kind of lay the groundwork with really what's going on and kind of set the scene.
Okay, I'd be happy to do that. The board had done phase one on projects after the demolition of the East Wing, where we built a gym for physical education classes, special education classrooms, Tommy TV, a chorus room, and remodeling the band room. But due to money constraints at the time, the Fine Arts Center was delegated to phase two when more resources became available. North School rose to the top of this list when the resources became available because there is overcrowding. Memorial is approximately 104 years old with many issues of American Disability Act concerns, flooding issues in the cafeteria, as anybody can see if they've gone by, very limited playground space. So the board is concerned about putting more money into that. Our recent Health Life Safety said we need about $7 million worth of work there. So we're taking a look at those things. An industrial arts wing may also receive consideration. It hasn't been remodeled in over 50 years, and it serves 335 FFA students. That hasn't been approved by the board. There would actually have to be a formal vote if we're unable to use the funds for Memorial. So that is what we would look at, or we would just see if we would wait and see if more funds became available. So that kind of gives you a background of where we're at this point. The reason that North rose to the top of the list to do the project is that we had an overcrowding of teachers with so many classrooms needed besides the regular classrooms. There are as many as 3 or 4 teachers sharing classrooms. There was actually on a recent visit that I had last week, there's a closet used for speech classes, literally a closet.
Okay.
So you can see that it was needed. You can't be overcrowded to that extent. There was a wrestling room available because it was only used a small percentage of the year, and that had been added on when they had the gym addition several years ago. Also, the project was estimated to be no more than $1 million and had a short completion time. So all of these factors influenced the board to begin phase 2 with this project.
Okay. Oh, did you have more?
Yes,
okay.
I can tell you a little bit more about the North project.
Yeah, talk more about North.
Okay, the North project began on April 3rd. It was during spring break. They did the demolition. They have put in ductwork. They framed new walls, electrical needs, because there will be 4 new rooms, and the hanging of drywall. They're in progress now of taping the drywall in preparation to paint the walls. The finishing of the rooms will take place in the summer. HVAC will be positioned on the roof. The project's expected to be completed by August 1st. I actually was there last week to view it with the superintendent of schools. It's exciting. You never quite realize how much room there is, but we're getting some very nice large rooms. that will relieve our overcrowding. And also, if you can imagine 3 or 4 teachers in one smaller room trying to teach reading and all these kids reading aloud, they will have space now. And with this, it just makes a better educational environment for our kids.
Yeah, it sounds like it when we can have all that space and have more space. And it sounds pretty efficient with, I mean, you could argue with, $1 million, that's the cost of it that you said, and being completed sounds like in time for next academic year.
Exactly. And what we're finding, of course, there could be overruns, but the project has actually come in less than $1 million. And that was through the help of our construction manager that we have working. So, we want to do the project, but if we can save some money and get some good bids in, we can do more.
Okay. So you've got the North project going on. Again, you say set to be completed in time for the start of next year, which hey, it'll be around the corner before you know it. You may have mentioned this a little bit. Maybe I missed it. Where did the funding come from?
Okay, the funding was the board purchased bonds in the amount of $15 million. Our superintendent took a look at finances, consulted to see what our borrowing power was. The important thing for the viewers to know, though, is that this will be paid with our 1% sales tax. So this is not showing up on your property tax bill. I think that's important for people to know. The 1% really, when you purchase here in town, or the 1 cent percent when you purchase here in town, it's going, and it is designated. That money is designated for building projects, which will help pay off these bonds.
Okay, so it sounds like you've had the bonds. I know other school districts have kind of have gotten some of their funding that way, and then it sounds like you're turning to the taxes that have already been levied on folks in Taylorville to fund all of that. So yeah, so you've got that. I think anything else to mention about North, or if not, we can switch to the Fine Arts Center.
Okay, really nothing more. It's coming along very nicely, looking good, and like I said, completion. They say August 1st. Well, hopefully a little bit before, but we'll just say August 1st, and that way they'll be used. Teachers can be moved. It'll just be a nice, fresh setting for teachers.
Yeah, can't wait to see that and hear about that when it comes around. I'll tell you what, I think now's a good time to take a break, and then when we come back, we can focus a little more on the Fine Arts Center and everything else that we've got going on. Good, I'm glad you're on board with the plan too.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we're just having to work with that with a shortened conversation today because of the planting report. But let's take a break, and then we'll come back here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
When it comes to connecting with America's farmers and ranchers, nothing beats the authentic voice of Ag Radio. Farm broadcasters have been the voice of rural America since 1944, building trusted relationships with agricultural producers across generations. Today, the network of over 140 Ag radio stations reaches farmers and ranchers during their most productive hours when they're actively working their operations and making business decisions. What makes Ag Radio uniquely effective? Farmers listen to farm broadcasters for information that directly impacts their livelihood. When your message is delivered alongside crucial weather updates, market reports, and agricultural news, it receives the same attention and credibility. Farm Radio Connects offers agricultural advertisers targeted access to this engaged audience through professionals who understand both broadcasting and agriculture. According to the National Association of Farm Broadcasting, 78% of farmers consider information from farm broadcasters highly trustworthy. When you need to reach rural America effectively, choose the voices they already trust. Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com and discover how Ag Radio can elevate your agricultural marketing strategy.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. 2026 is an exciting year at TCCU. We are building a new home office, upgrading our mobile app, and preparing to offer mobile check deposit, all to better serve our members. 2026 also marks our 70th anniversary. For 70 years, TCCU has been your local source for low loan rates, great deposit rates, and an organization proud to serve our local communities. Visit any of our convenient locations in Taylorville, Hillsboro, Litchfield, or Painter. You can also visit us online at tccu.org, member NCUA.
Guess what? You talked me into it. My fields will be golden this year.
Wait, your fields are what?
I'm joining the Certified Winter Canola program from Pioneer and Bunge Chevron Ag Renewables. Didn't you see great results last season?
Oh, yeah. With hybrids bred for Illinois conditions and expert agronomic support from Pioneer, our certified winter canola acres brought in maximum yields and profits.
See? It's a golden opportunity. I'm going to pioneer.com/winter canola to sign up now.
If you're looking for music that stood the test of time, join me, Randy Miller, Sunday mornings from 6 to 8 on 96.5thechill.com. I host Steady Ground Replay, a 2-hour journey back to the roots of contemporary Christian music. From the songs that started a movement to the hits that formed our foundation, it's 2 hours of timeless encouragement. Steady Ground Replay, standing on the music that built our faith. Sunday morning, 6 to 8 on 96.5thechill.com.
Pana schools provide excellence in education and are rooted in the Pana community. Become a part of Panther Pride and find out the great things happening in Pana schools by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Jansen's Heating and Air is the home of Dr. Comfort, focusing on customer care for heating and air conditioning across Central Illinois for some 35 years. Find out their services, specials, and coupons by clicking their icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, landmark of Taylorville, and in the case of this particular interview, also by Taylorville Schools, where they promote student success because they're A+. And that's because this interview is the Taylorville Schools Good News segment at 8:40, or the 8:40 time slot, on the first Thursday of the month. I've been talking with the Taylorville School District's board president, Ann Chandler, about some of the work happening at North Elementary School and the work soon to happen at or involving the upcoming Fine Arts Center. And that's where I want to focus this part of the show on, and talk a little bit about where the district's at in the process of the Fine Arts Center, and I'll let you take it away.
All right, thank you. We had told the board had told the community that we would do this during the Fine Arts Center during phase 2 of construction projects. So I want to emphasize that we are fulfilling that promise that we did make. After discussions and opinions given by the entire board, we have unanimously approved a facility of 10,500 square feet with an estimated price between $8,052,000 and $8,899,000. We obviously are hoping it's going to come in at the lower figure. Architect, construction manager, engineers, theater specialists, district music department have met with the building committee to determine the scope. The building committee has met to review mechanical, electrical systems, technology needs, theatrical and acoustical options, as well as the exterior design. And we do have a board meeting next week to determine, for the board to vote and determine the exterior design choice. With that, all this information, then there will be design and blueprints will be developed, brought to the board for approval to begin the bidding process. This project, and I'm meaning shovels in the ground, should begin in the fall. And the board has been told it will be an 18-month project.
18 months, so starting from the fall?
They consider an 18-month project from design time to actual finishing time.
All right. Excuse me. There. So, yeah, 18 months. You've got that coming up. In terms of the funding, is that similar to what you had stipulated earlier?
Yes, this will be part of the $15 million bonds. And of course, we'll have almost $1 million out. So we have $14 million left to spend. So that's why we're hoping the figures that I cited will come in at that. And then we'll have some money left over to decide what to do after that point.
All right. So it sounds like you've got that set up. We've got about 90 seconds left. I know you want to talk a little bit about the building committee. Who's on the committee, all those details. I'll let you take it away.
All right. The building committee has meant to make recommendations to the full board for discussion to vote. The latest project, they've met 8 times. Dr. Ron Miser is the chairman of the committee, and board members Lori Wimple and Tanya Bauscher are members of the committee as well. So they've been working, having meetings to bring forth for full vote on different things and the project. And again, they recently met for the exterior design.
All right, so they've been involved in that. I'll tell you what, we've got 1 minute to go. Is there like, excuse me, if folks are looking for information on any of these plans with the Fine Arts Center or indeed North, where can they go to find that?
Basically, there's newspaper articles, the board meeting minutes that are posted on the website cover that. And of course, they can direct questions to the superintendent as well.
All right. So, yeah, plenty of ways to get information on that. And when's that next meeting coming up that you were talking about?
It'll be next Tuesday night.
All right, next Tuesday night. So
May 12th.
May 12th. Yeah. No, May 12th. So that's when that'll be coming up. And yeah, I'm talking right now with Ann Chandler, board president of the Taylorville School District. Ann, thanks for coming on.
You're more than welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you on. And thank you for listening here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. I'm going to get more water. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
WTIM.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM.